Good morning. Good morning, everybody that is here in the studio and everybody that is following the World Food Forum activities online. My name is Mariana Estrada. I'm part of the FAO Indigenous Peoples Unit, and I'm very honored to be hosting this session led by Indigenous Youth. The World Food Forum 2022 is hosting a delegation of more than 50 indigenous peoples, indigenous leaders, indigenous youth, indigenous chefs, indigenous scientists. And indigenous peoples are here in Rome today to share a message, to send a message. Indigenous peoples should be, must be, at the center of the discussions of climate change and the transformation of agri-food systems. In particular, the Global Indigenous Youth Caucus has traveled from different regions of the world to be here and launch today with us a global campaign, a global call to action, an urgent call to action. So before I introduce you to my colleagues and the panel that we have here today, I will invite Tecumseh Cesar to lead us through a spiritual ceremony. Tecumseh, please. Everybody, please stand up.
Kwingwanao Nindishinzi Genu Zid and Shinabe, Nino Ngiai Matawak, Niwalotum and Wendak Pale, Nindishinzi Tecumseh. Hello, my name is Tecumseh. My spirit name is Genu Zid and Shinabe. I come from the Matawak people, the people of Long Island and Queens in the United States, and I am Turkey Clan. I am a Medewan Matawak man from the Matinicok, the Unkachuk, and the Montaukett. And I'm going to do a prayer in my language, and then afterwards I'll translate it. Anishi ki shalamokwang alamiliang yung kwai kishkwi kwak mech wakan, walumbus wakan, wakni alagomati watnuikian. Anishi ki shalamokwang alamiliang oweayusuk o wakawala shoshak waknamasak wakakosak. Anishi ki shalamo kwang alamiliang kohamina wak komohom sina wak nicha nina wak kachosa mina. Anishi ki shalamo kwang alamiliang Young kwai kishkwi wak ninibao sawakanin katawlil medewan manidu lapi anishik. So what I've said in my language is just giving thanks for the different things that we have every day that we take for granted. Giving thanks for our Mother Earth, giving thanks for the water that gives us nutrients, giving thanks for the foods that we eat, our animal relatives, the birds, the bees, those thunder beings who cleanse the air when they strike. Giving thanks for that fire that gives us warmth, but also the one that burns inside of us. Giving thanks for our aunties, our uncles, our parents, our children. Giving thanks for our Mother Earth and all she provides for us. That nutrients that she provides for us and the importance of having her. Our grandmother, the moon, who has that special connections with all the mothers on the earth and all the women on the earth, but also to all the waters. Giving thanks for those fish that give us knowledge and that give us food. Giving thanks for the different medicines that we take that help us. And just giving thanks for this day and this opportunity to be here all together. It's important that we remember times like this when we come together, our ancestors are happy because they're seeing what they did in the last 7 generations coming fruition in the next 7 generations. And the things that we do today will help the next 100,000 generations if we're able to keep our relationships with our Kukanaki, our Mother Earth, well. Anishik, 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 Anishik.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Please take your seat. Thank you for that. And after this spiritual ceremony, we will start with our first panel. This first panel will share with us the reason why. The reason why today indigenous youth around the world has organized themselves to launch this call to action. I will start with Jessica. Jessica, bienvenida. Jessica Vega es indígena del pueblo mixteco y es asesora del Caucus Global de Jóvenes Indígenas. Jessica, Cuéntanos por qué, de dónde surge la idea de hacer este llamado a la acción y de invitar a toda la población a sumarse a los jóvenes indígenas.
Tuba Quindo, está y está y. Saludos a todas y todos hermanos el día de hoy. Saludos a quienes nos escuchan desde estas pantallas, desde el tema de las identidades de las juventudes. ¿Cómo ha surgido la campaña? Es contar una historia. Sin embargo, es una historia que nos trae a las memorias de las y los abuelos. Ha sido un camino recorrido históricamente desde la antigüedad, desde nuestros ancestros, quienes nos acompañan el día de hoy, quienes nos están guiando el día de hoy y que seguramente se sienten orgullosos de la resistencia de nuestras identidades. Las juventudes indígenas de las 7 regiones socioculturales, desde las partes comunitarias, locales, nacionales, regionales e internacionales, han podido coincidir en estos espacios globales como jóvenes indígenas en el Caucus Global. Sin embargo, han coincidido también en que tenemos múltiples desafíos, pero también somos parte de la medicina que la Madre Tierra necesita en estas múltiples crisis, como la crisis alimentaria. Cada uno de los jóvenes que estamos aquí tenemos una historia, pero no es más importante que muchas historias que tenemos que escuchar. Así que, después de la denominada Declaración de Roma, en donde en el 2017 tuvimos la oportunidad de un primer encuentro y acercamiento con la FAO y los jóvenes indígenas del Caucus Global, hemos podido dar seguimiento también a múltiples demandas de las juventudes indígenas en esta madre tierra. Y uno de ellos fue el Foro Mundial de Jóvenes Indígenas en el 2021, que gracias a este proceso, junto a la Cumbre Mundial de la Alimentación, los campeones de la alimentación, las líderes, los líderes y los abuelos que nos acompañaron, pudimos concretar en que en este espacio necesitábamos más que un diálogo, las acciones. Las acciones son fundamentales para dar los múltiples resultados y es ahí donde las juventudes tenemos mensajes claros. Entre ellos, llamar a esta acción. Hoy, en el lanzamiento de la campaña My Food Vision is traer los mensajes claros sobre la situación real que vive la Madre Tierra. Así que la historia no comienza hoy, sino se ha escrito y la tenemos que continuar. Gracias.
Muchas gracias, Jessica, por este importante mensaje. Un aplauso. Thank you very much. And now I will pass to Makanalani Gomes. She is Kanaka Maoli, native Hawaiian. Welcome. Co-chair of the Global Indigenous Youth Caucus. Makanalani, why Indigenous youth are focusing on Indigenous Peoples Food Systems in this global campaign? Please.
Aloha mai kako, mai moana nui a kia. Greetings from the great people of the ocean, Oceania, and mahalo Mariana for the question. Our focus is a reflection of our environments. As Indigenous youth, we know that our foods are our lifeways. And right now, they're struggling, they're sick. We know this because of indicators like global warming, water, and food crises. Indigenous peoples are at the forefront of these struggles because we are her first children, the children of Earth Mother, and the keepers of her lifeways. As her children, we know and understand how to take care of her, and in turn, our global family, and that's through food. Food and feeding people is ceremony. Like a mother feeds her baby from inception, so too do Indigenous peoples' food systems physically sustain and spiritually nourish us all. Through our commune, the global family can learn what it means to be in a consenting and reciprocal relationship with Earth Mother, rather than a transactional, extractive, and harmful one. Our focus reflects the dire need to generate a consciousness for our Indigenous food systems. The global family needs to understand and respect Indigenous peoples and our food systems to ensure the survival of humanity and, in turn, the health of Earth Mother. Mahalo.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Makanalani. Thank you for this applause. a very, very important message, how to transform this relationship with Mother Earth from extractive, from a relationship with we are the same, when we take care of her. Thank you very much for this message. Now we pass to Anish Shrestha from the Newar Indigenous Community of Nepal, an Asia representative of the Global Indigenous Youth Caucus. Anish, how does climate change and environmental degradation inform Indigenous youth's priorities and sense of urgency?
Thank you, Mariana. First of all, Jozolopa, in my language, warm greetings from the people of the cool place, but from warm-hearted Mount Everest in Nepal to the historic city of Rome in Italy. As you know, the climate change is a global phenomenon. It's not a local issue, but it's facing locally, but felt globally, and we need to act globally. So the climate change is a fact now, an effect that we are all feeling globally, and indigenous people are the first one in the local communities who are suffering the most without their fault, but as well as fighting to combat the impact and effect of the climate crisis. Indigenous people and youth believe in one planet and one nature. So we have been working as the caretaker of this planet from the very beginning of the earth. The indigenous youth are the future generation of the planet, so they have to go through the worst blunt of the climate change, and their environment, education, and livelihood are all in the stake and effect now. It has already been started and been seen in the food productivity in the agricultural fields of the indigenous people and farming, also water scarcity in the indigenous territories due to the indigenous youth have to migrate from rural to urban areas at light speed to secure their future. So this is the first and major effect that we see in our land, in our countries. This should make all of us clear that the climate change is real and in front of us, seen through our eyes, our own eyes, and felt in our mind deeply. Climate change and environmental degradation is not only affecting our ecosystem, but also our daily lives. So it has now a time of the climate emergency in a real. Effect of the climate change is disturbing the food systems of the indigenous people. It has become harder to get the food we produce and making difficult to make the indigenous food cuisines with its real aroma and taste. We never have been able to get this taste of that we have been deserving and been eating and consuming from the beginning has been a loss of that due to the climate change. We need, because of this, to step ahead and lead the climate action. As we do not have any option of planet B, we need our territories, food, and nature to live freely and to sustain this planet freely. So we call for people, the planet, and the prosperity together. Think globally, act locally. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Anish, for this message. Climate change is real, and it's changing indigenous people's food systems. It's changing the taste, the smell, how it smells. It's changing the food. So thank you very much to our first panel for these powerful messages. Thank you, and I think that everybody is very interested in listening more about this campaign. So now I will invite the first panel to take the seat so we can watch the creative video that Indigenous Youth, the Global Indigenous Youth Caucus, has prepared for the launching of this global campaign. So we will go to see the video. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Conservar las semillas es conservar la vida. Las generaciones vamos a conservar todo lo que tenga que ver con nuestra alimentación, porque de una u otra manera es la vida de mi comunidad.
The Great Barrier Reef provides the resources for traditional custodians to be able to continue their practice of traditional hunting and fishing. Without the Great Barrier Reef, we have no connection to our cultural identity.
Аны бу маннык агырбыт бихека традиция болтах, кана хатыбыт. Бәбіт аспытынан қана хатыбыт, олахан хиртен продуктовары күппекке.
Los pueblos indígenas protegemos y resguardamos el 80% de la biodiversidad del mundo, gracias a nuestros modos de vida que están en armonía con la madre tierra. De allí que nuestros sistemas alimentarios de caza, pesca, siembra y recolección son importantes para seguir tejiendo esa relación de respeto y reciprocidad.
¡Bravo! Please take your seat. Thank you very much. I hope you enjoyed this video. You will be watching this video in social media. Please retweet it, reshare, share the message with your networks, and support and join this global campaign of Indigenous youth. So now we will talk more about the global campaign. We will understand and listen about the ideas and the message that the Indigenous youth are bringing to the discussion. But first, I would like to give the floor to Yves. Bonjour Yves. Je voudrais donner la parole à Yves Mamani. Yves fait partie du peuple Vatois du Burundi. Yves, dans quelle mesure les droits des peuples autochtones sont-ils fondamentaux pour les systèmes alimentaires des peuples autochtones et pour l'avenir des jeunes autochtones?
Ok, merci beaucoup. Je vais présenter la situation des jeunes autochtones dans ma région. Comme je viens de le dire, je suis burundais en Afrique de l'Est. Les autochtones de ma région vivaient de la chasse et de la cueillette. Une grande partie, jusqu'à maintenant, vivent de la chasse et de la cueillette, mais les autres vivent de l'état moderne, c'est-à-dire les autres modes de vie. Bien que le système alimentaire des peuples autochtones soit lié à la terre, et que ces derniers n'en ont pas, les jeunes autochtones satisfassent difficilement leurs droits. Par exemple, droit à l'alimentation. Les causes de la malnutrition sont caractérisées par un manque d'accès à la terre et d'autres ressources et des menaces pour le système alimentaire et la nutrition des peuples autochtones qui sapent la résilience des individus et communautés, y compris la dégradation de l'environnement ainsi que la perte de la biodiversité. La perte continue des terres et le modèle agroalimentaire dominant menace davantage le système alimentaire des peuples autochtones et des jeunes en particulier. L'intégration des jeunes autochtones dans les réformes législatives favorise la jouissance de leurs droits fondamentaux comme droit à l'alimentation. Et aussi les jeunes mères de fait, alors que c'est la génération future, raison pour laquelle les lois spécifiques pour cette dernière sont indispensables pour qu'ils puissent jouir pleinement leurs droits. Merci beaucoup.
Merci à toi, Yves, pour ce message. Thank you very much. And we hear that the UN Declaration of the Rights of Indigenous Peoples is key. Is key for the global action for the transformation of agri-food systems. So now I will invite Antonia. Where is Antonia? Antonia, bienvenida. Antonia Benito es maya Pocmán de Guatemala y es asesora del Caucus Global de Jóvenes Indígenas. Antonia, cuéntanos del simbolismo, de los mensajes, de toda la información que contiene esta campaña y el logo que estamos viendo.
Gracias, estimada Mariana. Casanaqui, es un gusto poderles compartir que desde la Red de Jóvenes Indígenas de América Latina y el Caribe, el Youth Caucus, pues estamos presentando hoy una campaña muy especial para nosotros los jóvenes indígenas. El logo está envuelto prácticamente en el simbolismo de las cosmovisiones de las 7 regiones, en donde desde las juventudes indígenas y los pueblos indígenas también tienen grandes coincidencias. Las manos, como se pueden observar en la fotografía, significa también la protección y al mismo tiempo la representación del agua y de la tierra, elementos fundamentales para la producción. Los tatuajes y las pinturas corporales de los pueblos indígenas también van y se observan en el logo, ya que en el centro podemos observar a una mujer indígena desgranando una mazorca, un maíz o semillas, de donde se desprende una espiral y los ciclos armónicos del sistema de producción. Se pueden observar también los colores que ejemplifican la espiritualidad y la cosmovisión de los pueblos indígenas, pero que también van impregnado en cada producción que se da desde nuestras comunidades. Muchas gracias.
Muchísimas gracias, Antonia Benito. Entonces, para entender, este es el logo. Este es el logo de la campaña.
Definitivamente, y algo interesante, Mariana, es que el secretario general nos visitó en el Basao y ahí prácticamente cuando el hermano Pacha Canchay le entregó una semilla de cacao, de inmediatamente él tenía la semilla así y colocó la mano. Entonces, el logo prácticamente también representa esa protección que le damos los pueblos indígenas a la producción, a la semilla, a cada uno de los conocimientos que tenemos para hacer nuestro la soberanía alimentaria.
Muchísimas gracias, Antonia, por este detalle. I will pass to our next panelist, Malachi Johnson from the Guren Nation, the Great Barrier Reef, and representative of the Pacific. Welcome, Malachi.
Thank you, Mariana.
Malachi, what are the key messages of this campaign?
Yes, so the Indigenous Youth Campaign have 4 key messages. Number 1, better production. Indigenous youth connect intergenerational science, knowledge and techniques that are the keys to sustainable food generation. 2, better nutrition. Nothing can substitute the nutrition of Indigenous peoples' foods. Keep the lifelines alive for Indigenous children. Message number 3, better environments. Led by the teachings of our elders, Indigenous youth are learning to follow the laws of nature where responsibility, servitude, and reciprocity are the ways to revive a healthy planet. And finally, better life. Our foods are our relatives. If they are healthy, we are healthy. These messages are at the forefront of our lives. It's at the center of health, culture, and all things sustainable. Understanding and acknowledging the significance of Indigenous food systems to Indigenous peoples is vital for our cultural connections. The Indigenous youth are calling upon everyone here and everyone watching. It is vital to unite with us, align yourself with Indigenous youth, listen to us, learn from us, and respectfully partner with us. Partner with us doesn't mean us coming along for the ride or to tick a box or to do the bare minimum according to some international standard. It means sincerely and honestly working together. It'll take work. Don't look for the easy road, look for the right road. Thank you.
Thank you, Malachi. And I think that it's very important to highlight that the key messages of this global campaign are aligned with the 4 betters that FAO is also working for. So I think there is an alignment, and as you said, let's work with Indigenous youth, respecting and recognizing their rights, their knowledge, and their food systems. And I like to highlight the message that you said, if our foods are health, we have health. We are healthy. Thank you very much for these powerful messages. Now, let's pass, I will give the floor. Yes, please, an applause to our speakers. Now, I will invite Tecumseh Caesar from the Matinekok Turkey clan, Montekot, and Unkeshak from North America. Tecumseh, welcome. Tell us, what is the call to action of this campaign?
Yeah, to continue upon what my brother had said, we identify some key points of working with Indigenous youth, but we also identify that our Mother Earth is sick, and that we as humans are the reason why she is sick. Also why our Nialgomatit, our animal and plant relatives, are sick. And so we have seen in history our colonizers have poisoned the earth with dumping and pollution. They have separated us from our ancestor, the earth, with cement. They have also disenfranchised us as Indigenous people from the land, and also our animal relatives. We see the effects of this every day in climate change. Indigenous knowledge tells us that we must get back to our original instructions that were given to us by the Creator, to steward the land, live with the land. We ask that we cannot do this alone, but we want to repair that relationship. We ask that you not work against our Mother Earth, but with and for her. We only have one mother, and it's important to know that our earth, really, the earth and the animals, they don't need us, but we need them. So we have to be respectful of the role that they play in our society. We can heal the planet, but we can't do it alone. So we ask that those that partner with us do it in a way that is not extractive, and in a way that they're doing it because it's the right thing to do, not because they're checking off a box. In order for this process to be sustainable, which is one of the biggest problems that we have, we ask that people who make these different mechanisms that help facilitate the initiatives consider that the indigenous reality is very different from other people, and that there are many challenges that we face due to colonialism and capitalism. And so when they do it, we ask that that be in a meaningful way. This process must be equitable. The initiatives that help us sustain must make it so we can keep care of both our traditions and our families without having to sacrifice that to do this work. We as Indigenous people are fighting to dismantle these colonial systems that have crippled the earth. But we want to do it in a way that we're coming together to take our Indigenous knowledge and build something as a unit. You know, we have this this idea of, for so long we've done it separately, and so now we're saying if we take into consideration our Indigenous views and the different things that are happening right now, we can work with our mother and live with our mother and not against her.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Tecumseh. Please, an applause for Tecumseh. I would like to highlight what you said. We need to work with and for Mother Earth and together, not against Mother Earth and not against indigenous knowledge, indigenous peoples, with indigenous peoples. Thank you very much for this powerful message. And now, vamos a pasar con José Gudiño. José Gudiño viene del pueblo Puinave de la Amazonía venezolana. José, bienvenido. José, cuéntanos a todos los que estamos aquí, a los que nos están viendo, y desde las diferentes regiones del mundo, cómo podemos unirnos y cómo pueden los pueblos indígenas también de otras partes del mundo unirse a esta campaña.
Gracias, Mariana. Saludo a todos los jóvenes de las 7 regiones socioculturales, especialmente a la Red de Jóvenes Indígenas de América Latina y el Caribe. Sabemos que no estamos solos, por eso esta campaña es una gran oportunidad para visibilizar el trabajo, los proyectos, las iniciativas que lideramos los jóvenes indígenas en nuestras tierras, nuestros territorios y nuestras comunidades. En ese sentido, la movilización de apoyo tiene que darse en todos los ámbitos, en todos los sectores, desde lo local hasta lo global. Ustedes que nos ven, nos escuchan, pueden apoyar la implementación de nuestros proyectos. ¿Cómo pueden hacerlo? Considero que es fundamental la creación y promoción de fondos de cooperación directa con los jóvenes. Véannos como socios claves para responder a los grandes retos que tenemos en nuestras tierras, pero también en la comunidad global. Juntos podemos lograr ese gran reto de romper las brechas. Muchas gracias.
Muchísimas gracias. Muchísimas gracias, José Gudiño, por este mensaje. Véanos como aliados. Thank you very much for this important message. Now, to close this panel, I would like to invite Alexis Manzano from the San Manuel Band of Missions Indians and co-chair of the Global Indigenous Youth Caucus. Alexis, welcome. What does the global campaign seek to accomplish with this? What Indigenous youth seek to accomplish with this campaign?
Hamitach, first and foremost, it's an honor to sit up here with my fellow brothers and sisters. Regarding your question, the Global Indigenous Youth Caucus asks each of you to stand with us. Wherever you live, wherever you work, learn about who we are and listen to us. We live in the 7 regions of the world across 91 countries. We are more than 476 million people. Our people protect 80% of the remaining biodiversity on Mother Earth. No longer can we be an afterthought. We are the leaders for the revival of Mother Earth and the future knowledge holders of our cultures. As guardians of Mother Earth, today we find ourselves in the emergency room with her. Her life systems are under major distress. Each decision we make is critical and under time pressure. Each decision we make will determine our futures. We hold this reality in our hands. Over the next year, the campaign will focus on a coordinated online social media campaign with Indigenous youth and communities from the 7 regions. We will collect content through videos and photos on the importance of preserving and protecting Indigenous peoples' food and knowledge systems. We will share our food visions for the world and listen and learn from. We will use this content to inform and influence decision makers at the local, regional, and national levels to advance the Sustainable Developmental Goals and the 4 betters of production, nutrition, environment, and life with Indigenous peoples. With supportive leaders, including the Director General of FAO and member states, we will work to actualize our rights as articulated in the United Nations Declaration on the rights on Indigenous peoples, specifically the articles for our food, health, medicine, knowledge, and land tenure. Without rights, Indigenous peoples are like doctors without medicines. Without rights, we cannot offer solutions. We can merely fight for our survival. Finally, our elders and ancestors built the foundation for us to stand on and move towards a better future. We must move together for Mother Earth and future generations. It is our responsibility in this fleeting moment of time. Hakupai.
Thank you. Thank you, Alexis, for this message. And I want to thank you, our second panel, and all the panelists today for these important messages. And the big moment has arrived because the Global Indigenous Youth Caucus will launch here at the global level in the World Food Forum the campaign, My Food Vision, and the different messages that they have prepared for this call to action. So I would invite Jessica Vega. Jessica, te invitamos a hacer el lanzamiento oficial y el llamado a la acción. Adelante. ¿Nos paramos? Let's stand up.
Let's stand up. La Madre Tierra está enferma. Los conocimientos de los pueblos indígenas son medicina. Los jóvenes indígenas tenemos la cura. Los pueblos indígenas son el camino. Únanse a nosotros, escúchennos, denos la mano y luchemos juntos. Protejamos la semilla, unamos las manos y el corazón. Atama, por favor, join us con nosotros. Por favor, les vamos a repartir la semilla para proteger. Y el hermano Atama nos va a acompañar con su hermosa canción que ha compartido para nosotros en este video. Thank you very much for joining us. Please sing.
Kemusnahan hidup kita akibat penyakit tamak. Mereka yang berlomba untuk permit berlambak. Kita bersuara kerana sayang. Berjabat tangan, mari berjuang. That's a song that's chosen by the Indigenous youth for their campaign. It's entitled Ini Tanah Kita. It means this is our land. The song was written to commemorate the World Conference of Indigenous Peoples in 2014. We have a very simple message. As Indigenous peoples who are in the arts and in the expressions, we sing, we dance, and we particularly write about the situations that we face. And this song describes the real situation that we are facing in the world today as indigenous peoples. We talk about the lands. We talk about how countries are affected by climate change. We also talk about how a lot of people just ignore the fact that the lives of indigenous peoples are being destroyed slowly because of human greed. But this is our land, and we are here to stay. Ini tanah kita.
Thank you very much to this great panel of the Global Indigenous Youth Caucus. I will invite all the Global Indigenous Youth Caucus, Indigenous Youth to come here. Let's make a group photo, and all the Indigenous leaders that are here in the room, if you want to come to the stage. So we can make a big photo of this momentum. Get together, all together. Tanya, please come here. Let's take a big photo of this momentum of the launching of the global campaign of Indigenous Youth. My food vision is, and let's learn and work with indigenous peoples. The Nakita. This is our land. Bravo. Woo! Thank you very much, and thank you to the World Food Forum for giving space for the big launching of the global campaign of Indigenous Youth. Thank you all, thank you.